spirituality is everything. It's everything. I don't think spirituality is just what people say about being good. Actually, spirituality is also being bad. And good and evil, although there are relatives, are also part and parcel of spirituality. They're just a different part of spirituality. Spirituality is everything. It's everything. And spirituality is in everything. The next question is, what is the appropriate type of spirituality that one needs for levity, development, etc., etc.? Well, that's dependent on who you think you are, isn't it? Obviously, Donald Trump feels that what he manifests is spiritually good for him. It's a man who eats meat, red meat, who is full of vindictive kind of power, and has manifested this power in terms of position and what have you in this world. And he feels, if he was to digest his activities, that what he's doing is good. It makes him feel good inside. In other words, it's a representation of his own spirituality. It's not a representation of my spirituality, but of his. Am I to say that his activity is not spiritual? No, because it's spiritual to him. His expression of spirituality is different from my expression of spirituality, but it's still spiritual to him. The mistake I would make is to make me think that he doesn't have a spirituality simply because the way that he manifests his spirituality is different to me. He does have a spirituality, even though he might not call it that, and he manifests it every day in what he does, thinks, speaks, and acts. I represent my spirituality in a different way to him because I'm a different person, physically, mentally, and spiritually to him. So what I manifest is spiritually good for me, so long as I follow the paths that are right for me. How do I know what paths are right for me? I follow nature primarily. What does nature teach me are right for me? What does nature show me is the correct thing for me to be, to do? Nature tells me, for example, that I should get up when the sun is up, when it is light. Not 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Nature teaches me this because the sun has already risen. Okay, what about in the winter time when the sun rises late? I still get up at that time, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, because that's what nature has told me I should do in the summertime. I continue into the winter. If I was living in another environment where perhaps I didn't need to get up at 5 or 6, then my spiritual progress would be delineated entirely by the sun, and I might need then to get up at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. But for now, my spirituality tells me I must get up at 5, not only because the sun has risen at that time during the summertime, but also as a methodology so that I can achieve things spiritually in this time. So the time that I get up in the morning, 5, is important. 5 o'clock, 5:30 at the latest. Second of all, nature teaches me that I need to cleanse and wash my physical body. I have to cleanse it physically. I need to wash and cleanse regularly, perhaps 2, maybe 3 times a day, perhaps even 4 times a day. I need to cleanse, wash my body and oil my body from head to toe. This is part of my spirituality, my cleansing process. And in the same way that I might cleanse my physical body, I need to cleanse my mind and my spirit. I need to get rid of the waste from my body in the same way that I may urinate and defecate the waste from my system. And if I don't for one day, I'm sick. In the same way, I must cleanse my mind and my spirit of the waste and the filth that my mind and spirit has accumulated in that day. My body has turned food into energy and then needs to expel it. My spirit has also turned the light, the energy that it receives, into something else. I'm full of that waste in my mind and my spirit, and I need to get rid of it in the same way that I get rid of the waste from my body. My cleansing must be holistic, choosing those systems that work, be it chanting, be it meditation, be it internal prayer, external prayer, be it physical exercise. It must involve physical exercise. Physical exercise is fundamentally important to sweat the toxins out of my body and to sweat the spiritual waste out of my body. I must know what I'm doing when I'm in meditation or in chanting or whatever. I must know what I'm doing. It cannot be magic. I don't believe in magic. I believe in spiritual processes that work, not magic. So it's about cleansing the spirit in the same way that you cleanse your body. Meditation is fundamentally important. It's as fundamentally important as drinking water, as eating food. It is as fundamental as that, as cleaning your body. You wouldn't go a day without cleaning your body in the same way you wouldn't go without a day without meditation. It's fundamentally important. One must also be in touch with nature in some form or shape, if one can be, to actually touch the earth in some form or shape. One must have one's own space. Some call it altar, some call it your own space, a space which is yours. In that space, the elements are there. Air is there, fire is there, water is there, earth is there. Above and below is also there. Within that space, you pay respect to the fact that you are a representation of all those elements manifested in form. So you are a representation of air, fire, water, and earth manifested in form. They are your father and your mother, even more than your physical mother or father are. So when you meditate, you pay respect to that which created you and everybody that is connected to you, those elements. In your space, you have your own quiet time. It's very important. The quiet time is for you to get rid of your waste. Every day you must have quiet time, even if it's only 5 minutes, where you don't talk to anybody. Your children are not there, your partner's not there, there's no TV, there's no radio. It's your own time, it's your own space. Every day you must have some sort of rigorous physical exercise, especially when you are living in an environment where racism is strong. You need to have some element of strong physical exercise, because the racism that you have accumulated has accumulated itself as a spiritual energy and force, not just in your mind, but in the organs of your body. Your heart, your liver, your lungs, your kidney has all accumulated the self-hate of racism. You need to expel those concepts, those ideas from your physical body, through meditation, through chanting, and through physical exercise. Your heart beating fast, your lungs beating fast, your liver detoxified, your kidneys detoxified of the racism that it has accumulated as a physical and spiritual force inside your being. So those are just some of the things that one should do in order to survive. The types of exercises that one does will change slightly to the environment in which one finds oneself. If one is near a lake, a freestanding lake, one can be involved in more deep spiritual breathing to inhale the waters of the lake. If one is near a free flowing and developed forest, one can be in touch with those trees in a much more symbiotic way than if one is living in the midst of a city. If one is in touch with rock formations, one can be in touch with those rock formations in a more deeply spiritual way than one if it's concrete, and so on. But wherever you are, you have to be involved in some sort of process. Even if you find yourself in a strongly urban environment, you can represent nature by having a plant. Even if you haven't got a tree. Even if you haven't got the earth itself, you can take a rock or a stone and that can be your earth. Even if you haven't got a free-flowing river, you can get a bowl of wood and fill it with water and that can be your river or your lake. But you need to have those elements in your existence, in your daily existence, every day, especially when you live in an environment where racism is strong. Because racism isn't just a physical thing, it is also a spiritual thing. It infects body, mind, and spirit. And the same way that you cleanse your body from scientific racism, you also need to cleanse your mind and your spirit from it. Africanus.